Okay, Felix, turn around, guys. Come on in.
Everybody always calling you.
Octavia, there.
All the time we're calling on the senior assembly.
It's okay. Look this way, please. Thank you. Everyone is in? All right, smile.
All right. Okay. Right. Hold on. No. We're going upstairs.
Good morning. Let me extend a very warm San Fernando welcome to the first people to the second city. I want to recognize the Chief Ricardo Barrett Hernandez and your beautiful queen, newly crowned. I saw it on the papers this morning. Nona Aquan. Nona Aquan. And Nona, it's on today's papers. That's how I found out. And a whole bio on you. And this beautiful group of people, beautifully well decorated and making a statement of who you are and where you came from. You are in San Fernando, where there's a rich history of first people who came up the river all the way from Venezuela, I think, Orinoco River, and would have settled at the bottom of the San Fernando wharf for a while. And there's a spot where they work just beyond the hospital, and after a while they sought residence on the San Fernando Hill, and lived on the San Fernando Hill across there, where we're seeing that greenery there, and stayed there for quite a while. And that's where you would be visiting. They worship the hill was their god, and they pray to the hill for food and good harvests, as the case may be. Lived for quite a while. San Fernando you are on Harris Promenade. This city was declared a tongue in 1592 by Governor Chacon, which was Spanish at the time. And San Fernando over the years became very French. If you had visited San Fernando between that period, everybody spoke French and patois. And that came about because of the scheduler of population. When they wanted to develop the tongue, the French and the Martinicans came in here after the abolition of slavery and resettled here, and French and patois became our common language. But then Governor Harris came in 1846 and changed all of that, and we became English. And he is the one who gave us this promenade. When the council at the time, San Fernando in those days only existed from High Street going north. This part of San Fernando didn't exist. So the council approached Governor Harris for additional land. He said, I'll give you the land under one condition, that you build schools, a court for the persons who move on trial, a police barracks, and churches. Hence the reason we have 3 schools here: St. Joseph's Convent, Boys RC College, Boys RC Primary School, St. Gabriel's Primary School, the Methodist Church, the Catholic Church, the Anglican Church, the Supreme Court, and the police station, and a hospital, and the city, and of course City Hall. So Lord Harris really transformed San Fernando by putting these very major institutions on this promenade. And he also said, you must have a promenade for the pleasure and leisure of the people. So we had a promenade first, before anywhere else. So this promenade was declared in 1846 and developed and evolved over the years to what it is today. We're very happy to host you and give you a brief history of San Fernando. So everything centers around this little area here, and we're very happy to have you here and to share this moment with you. And you'll be visiting San Fernando Hill. We'll get some experience of what the hill represents. It's one of our really heritage sites. Opposite you, that building you see across there with the grass on top of it, is one of our older buildings. It's the old police station. It was gutted by a fire in 1989, sorry, and it's yet to be restored, but it's one of our old buildings with material used from the San Fernando Hill to build and to make. So San Fernando, like Arima, has its rich history. I'd like you to take my regards back to your mayor, Lisa Morris, a very good friend of mine, till I send my San Fernando warmth and love, and welcome you all here, and hope that you all enjoy your stay with us. At this point, I'll ask your chief to bring greetings.
Thank you very much, Your Worship. Mr. Junior Regrello, Mayor of the City of San Fernando. We thank you for receiving us, for welcoming us this morning as we sought to pay a visit to this southern city because as you said in your talk, it carries a lot of history. The origins of this area, this city, was inhabited by our first peoples. And as you heard, the mayor mentioned the San Fernando Hill, which we will visit after we leave here, was a sacred hill of the Waraos, who came from the Orinoco in Venezuela, because they believed that one of their gods dwelled in that space. Over the years, it has deteriorated. It is not what it used to be, but nevertheless, we still respect it as one of the sacred sites of our first peoples. So, Your Worship, on behalf of all our peoples who have gathered here from many different countries, I want to thank you for taking your time this morning to receive us, though the visit will be brief. But I want to continue to say that in the development that you spoke about with the British governor, when they gave permissions, one thing struck me in your talk, that when the council at the time requested land, he said that he will give you land under a condition. And you know, it makes you wonder that this land first was belonging to our local peoples. And for some foreigner to come and tell you, I will give you land, it was not theirs to give. And you know, while we understand that development takes a certain form, and that whatever happened, it has to be under the design of the Creator. It's not under our design. So they came and they brought new peoples to the land, that is fine. But in the development process, our indigenous peoples were completely forgotten. They weren't taken into consideration at all. And that is our cause of grievance to a certain extent. So that now, as indigenous peoples, not only here in Trinidad, but across the world, are finding their voice for yet another time. And this is prophecy of most of our indigenous communities. There has always been a prophecy by the leaders and the prophets in the communities. And we have our own prophecy. And they of the other lands have their own prophecies. And that we see when we examine it that that prophecy is beginning to take its place, its rightful place. So while we understand that we live in a multicultural, diverse society, and we have to embrace and accommodate everyone, because some of us who have the indigenous nations, we are also mixed and have those bloods within us. But in our development process, at local government, at central government, at the different institutions, we hope that our voices will be heard and that we will be taken into consideration to be included in the development process. And I not just mean as a group outside pleading, but we feel it's time that we have our places on the local councils. So I have requested from the Minister of Local Government consideration in the local government reform to have an independent seat for a representative of our first peoples. And if not all the corporations to start, but at least 3 or 4. And you may ask what will be the role of that person. I think it will take too long to tell you at this time what will be the role, but certainly we have roles for them. And so, once again, I thank you most sincerely for taking your time out to greet us, to meet with us as we sought to visit the southern city here today. So thank you so very much for your kindness and hospitality.
Your narrative is very profound and I can relate to what you're saying. I recently received a letter from you commending us for the renaming of streets, and our committee will be looking at the first people and giving the appropriate name to the appropriate street based on your recommendation, and we'll be consulting with you. And I look forward to local government reform, which will give us the autonomy, because we must recognize those who have shaped the landscape of this city. And you're absolutely right about that, and we're going to work and collaborate with you moving forward. I want to thank you for your very profound thoughts and giving us an awareness of what exists. I understand that you have a couple of surprises for us, so I look forward as we get some entertainment by no other than the first people.
Anybody need the mic?
You need a mic?
I want to invite Chief to stand with us, and the Major and the Fleet, please.
Pass it here.
Yeah, we are very grateful to be here today. The cultural group of Suriname, the Cariña cultural group, and our song will be a prayer, and it means I got the wisdom from him, the creator. I got the wisdom from his angels. We indigenous people call Yakua. Thank you.
Awu koyanora, awu koyanora, awu koyanora, awu koyanora, tamu si chong.
His worship will leave. I'm just saying that his worship would have to leave now. You know, they have meetings and different duties. So if Mr. Champagne, the Queen, myself, and a few of the elders, the visitors, just one person from each delegation will go over to sign his visitor's book, while the others can stay. Those who did not perform here, we will perform on the hill. You will get your opportunity to perform and sing and praise and so on. So your worship, once again, we thank you so very sincerely.
And there is cool water for anyone there. There's a cooler at the back, and our staff will assist if you need water. And I just came back to my memory, you know, Chief. There's a cemetery not too far from here where most of the first people were buried. And you remember we did a ceremony there once to hand over the property. And I can still recall when you revoke the spirit, what happened with the water and the glass. The glass actually tilted and the water went out, so the spirit had to have some water. You remember that? That was somewhere back in 2009. So maybe next time we'll visit that place, because it's a sacred place. Several of the first people were buried there, and it's not a cemetery anymore, but you should visit there next time you come to San Fernando. Appreciate it. So we will work across and the water is available to you. My staff will assist. The two ladies, the two good-looking ladies in the back there, will assist you with water anybody need. Thank you so much for coming, and really appreciate your presence here this morning.
So I will ask, when you meet Judge, if you take yourself from when we are through here, we will walk in here. We will spend most of the morning. We will have our lunch.
Great job.
This is why you see, this is the best meal I've ever made in my life. That is the remarks. So you see whatever you want to put here. Right?
I will put,
No, this is here.
You want my email address?
No, you can put whatever.
Remarks, this is like
whatever
a compliment, something about the city, you know.
Well, I like it.
One line, it doesn't have to be a whole paragraph.
You could write the whole paragraph, don't worry about it. You could write the whole thing. Good looking mayor, nice place, warm, sunshine.
Beautiful and clean.
Beautiful and clean.
Yeah. Yes. I will put here Carina.
Anything you want to put smart, you get it.
Okay, I will put here cultural group. This is so I think.
Carib, this is old San Fernando.
Okay. No, good. You have some historical records. You don't have the Carib House here?
Carnival?
The Carib House.
Carib House, yes. Well, it's Carib Street. You know, that's an atrocity that we need to correct.
But the Carib is the wrong word, but I mean, that is what people know they can identify.
But what they foolishly did, I'm trying to say, so is that they went and renovated and made it into a concrete structure. That's not up there. It's not up there. That's
the old fire station.
fire station.
Paris Promenade. Now you know all there's a settlement. There's so much right behind that house and the banks.
Yeah.
You see the artifacts, the pottery, all the things that the Indigenous people use.
Yes.
Yeah, it's right there over there going up there.
Louis Homeyer, remember
Yes,
that?
of course.
Louis had assaulted quite a few of those items.
Yes.
We intend to do a museum in San Fernando. That's one of the projects we want to embark on. Where we have all these things, and I must tell you that it will be significant mention in our museum of the first people. And I'm liaising with your committee for information and going forward. So once we establish our museum, the first section of the museum will be more or less devoted to the first people, their arrival, before they really that they want to start it San Fernando many years ago. Next. This be live?
Out there.
Oh, there.
I'll have to go back up to here.
And you commence?
20.
This is
All over the world.
I'm not singing the microphone. What is your microphone?
Huh?
What is singing the microphone?
I don't know.
I don't know what that means.
Who has your phone?
What else do you go on YouTube?
YouTube? Facebook? No, Facebook.
Your name?
Hollis Clifton. I'm live right now and you are the face of it.
What else do you do? What else? I like this lady. I get three lines.
It's the blue. Love is blue.
Yeah. You get it? You get that?
Next time.
Kasi may kanila go to your right to the come on.
Feedback. Junior Galera is watching.
You what?
Junior Galera is watching.
Yeah, so put it out, right? All right. So we have all the communities. How many communities do you have?
Suriname has the largest contingent, but they have several groups.
So you all are in the government body.
Most babies.
That is so important.
Dominica is usually
So this is an annual event once a year. So you visit there as well?
yes, for some of the aspects. Not for all of it, but
Is it recognized in Suriname?
yes, they have a national holiday. The 9th of August, and that is one day of the United
What are your plans, Chief, going forward? What are your plans going forward?
A lot. We have quite a lot on the agenda. And
The provision.
on Saturdays there will be a relative human remains at the Red House.
Yes.
So that we go to grab the time. We're going to hear
Quite a lot of
a lot of our plans and failure.
artifacts were dug up there.
So that we're going to rebury them. We have special funds that we have made and that's a ceremony. No, we just smoke roll. The others they use the pipe.
Yeah.
Pipe is more like smoke than the pipe.
Let me see how that sounds right. Very little statement Thank you, Your Majesty.
Now we are viewing the Queen, the Carib Queen herself, signing in right now in the mayor's office, Santanado City Hall.
Chief himself, man. You got a whole page for yourself?
The great chief. That's the official signature right there.
And now we are seeing the chief himself, Ricardo Barros, signing the book for his worship premier, Alderman Junior Regrello, City of Santa Maria. Picture we have the chief himself, Ricardo Barros, and the newly crowned queen, the queen of the Carib community in Trinidad and Tobago.
All right, sir, please. Thank you.
Small. All right, man. Have a blessed day. Enjoy the rest of the day.
Yeah, so if you look at the Caribbean Mountains, that's where the new heritage site is going to be. And so to develop it is going to cost we're going to have this benefit consults and eventually, start with phase one, have it as a place that people can learn and just to have a site, right? Because, be self-sustaining, right? Because
I get it.
This is the hill where the Warraus came. They have desecrated it by cutting down, and it is what it is today. But they used to come here to do their worship and their ceremonies. The Warrau nation. So we're just going to relax, take pictures, do your performances if you want. And we wait here until the lunch will come about 11:30 to 12. We'll have something to eat. And by that time after, then we head back. So it is just a little relaxation here. I know everybody cannot fit under the same hut, so you can see where it's vacant and make yourselves comfortable. Okay? The indigenous name is Anabarima. Anabarima. Just as we have Arima, we have Anabarima in the indigenous language.
The San Fernando Hill.
Now called the San Fernando Hill.
Anabarima.
Yeah.
After the Carib.
Place without water.
No, that's not correct. That is what they learn in school, and people have that. But we'll talk about that.
The visitor center is still up there?
Yes.
Huh?
Yes, it's up there.
Visitor center?
It's up there.
They use that for a wedding. When you can enter.
And conferences.
And the washrooms and so on.
And the washrooms after.
You can walk on that side and you will see the scenery.
Correct.
Yes. So while we celebrate the First People's Heritage Day on the 14th of October, and a number of activities surround that, our final activity for this year will be the reinterment of the human remains that were found at the base of the Red House in its renovation. As you know, the human remains of the first peoples of the land were found, and on Saturday the 19th we'll be having a ceremony for the reburial of those human remains at the Red House.
Where are we now?
We are on the Anabarima Hill, which is called today San Fernando Hill. And this hill used to be a sacred place of the Warraus who came from the Orinoco Delta to do their ceremonies on this hill.
Thank you.
Me on the back side.
Talking. No talking. No talking.
See, everybody happy.
This is our queen.
Why don't be shy? You are shy. Oh, please, stop already.
It is please.
I leave my shoes over there, okay? I'll be back.
But they came. They plan to come back tomorrow. What we want to do, and we're here to discuss with principal to get their approval that we want to make our Hollis, you know, the kind of whole hand does it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So that we're trying to milk this for all that it's worth in terms of media projection. So once the school agrees, I'll call you back. They should be there for 1 o'clock.
Mm-hmm.
So
Okay.
that the plan is to have them, when they come out of the maxis, all these children coming in.
Hola.
Sato, kilo to sa kabawa mo. Pasika harang mga apo. Yararo na sida bana. Hararong hamawat gita tanho. Pakiya ba ada bo to kuya nga. Kilo to kuya nga abe. Wapuya no sikubale. Hararong kuya nga. Ya sikuba. Yuri kuya nga. Ite kuya inyabo kuya nga abe. Ite sikuba. Inyabo kuya ba abe. Ite sikuba. Ya ba ada mo. Tanho. Pasika to inyabo mo. Tanho pasika to inyabo mo.
Wow.
My grandfather did the specific song. Tanyana baiko diana tai, bawa kai dati takamani, bawa kasana kejadian orang tera, bawa kasana kejadian orang tera, bawa kasana kejadian orang tera. Kejadian orang bera, kejadian orang bera. Kami anak baik di anak baik, buat kami dari takamoni. Kejadian orang bera, bawa kesana kejadian orang bera, bawa kesana kejadian orang bera. Baik di anak baik, bawa sahi dari takamoni, bawa kesana kejadian orang bera, bawa kesana kejadian orang bera, bawa kesana kejadian orang bera. sana kejadian orang bera. Bawa tu 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 sana kejadian orang bera. Arawak Tony, Bank Paro Canada.
Tuna. Yeah,
Kasalak ko lang kung
Tama. Pura-pura wae ka kana ka. Kanyaro ka tang. Nakura mo sira mo. Sira mo sembuhay. Itang lumboy pada. Tuirano seto, tuirano seto himoite tomo mo. Ano li foto nam no pondo. Pa me nyari rapota anya. Irastanya me nyaro wa. Tagolo eng meragang anya kenado. Tagolo sera anyi pada. Anya abe ba ito sembola menyara apa itu? Anya namo akare pa tolo todo kenada tomia. O sevete kalama tomia. Tagala yakin kulain don tomia. Sere pata kolomato. Ah meralo sembondong. Iyo me poni ve tome. Me tana kulutao, me tana veritao. Namoro dofunata. Iyo mi ponya kalama yani. Mono patantu tomo ya. Kuyafe buat rumah tau. Aha katome ya. Deme ya ve pegaya. Mapena sembotese amung katong. Wapo. Tala no tonamo ani moitu. Warau aruaka. Oi tau tesanya namo sembo. Uji ba me ambo pata. Menya kaina meji kapati de kalamanta ke juan kuru tau. Awain tau turu pata ujai de, buja turuta. De peka ya ne sembo ya menya de sen baken na ajenya mbisi tunala ken. Baken tanun sen, baken kairi, baken tanaing, tutaka, purufa, napi eku, nana eku, waken giwenye. De mesen de ken tunapsi de ken. Kalama ya wapo ita fotong amanyamo tamu santong nuti antong ni wapo kapewa amo de kong waking esewa ni sentuna kalama ya na kalama ya nakal dadalkin Napo hau kaya ya kalau makan guru nemba mah, ibu nemba mah, wedu nemba mah, tunalu nemba mah, nanalu nemba mah, falu nemba mah, totoru nemba malam, nyawa ya menyara, napo hau kaya kalau makan. Napo juga dulu tu ya, kurana kaya mi, apa? Ini nak berhenti, nak berhenti dah.
Vamos. Gracias.
Ma, baba kapunali. Oya watu yai hemara. Halena en natu walan po. Uf, pakai anulit pipo papa. Opata tara papa. Opeiyo manulit pipata papa. Upata papa. Ah, pera lolit kon manay papa. Oh, meray karat kon manay. Emna ya papa. Maske tara na emna tuwalan auta po papa. Opeiyo mara papa. Maske emna apa tomagu kaya ya papa. Mara anumak emna tika papa. Emna wana anum hakti ka papa. Marala taron ko maham uek kita marawai papa. Pagkanat parakin emna eponop top tika papa. Maske herapa kue tarpe papa. Marala hera upoyai aya papa. Ipag emna utoh me aya. O marakin manay emna apa to mane me. Emna ulit pon me avesike. Kapunari me matine papa. Emna uheina mutane papa lo me ipoken mama na yuke ya papa herapok papa. Maske emna kurun meika, emna ita apta. Emna apa tomak, mara emna otuloya, emna ane popolaika. Emna ita apta. Anu mara ken emna tika papa. O mara ken manai emna kurun me papa. Emna akara tita heme papa. Maske Herapak hemara kue tari pe papa maham apei nam akal papa. Ah mera auta kupta na kom papa. Tara emna tap tara papa pakanat pa auta katul papa. Maske nai kurun mak mararamai tamusi mararamai kurumusi auta betin tom. Emna kalan tom maham tiwa-tiwaran kom uek tom papa. Maske herapak emna apa tomak papa pakanat pa emna eito papa. Ma, hera ken ukaya, marara hera, ini karup sik tunara ken papa, onulut pu papa, marara ah meram na emna papa, onulut putom, ane karat putom emna ya, imna tara papa, Mas que herara que tu napsik me kare ya papa. Ipong manay. Mararo papa. Ma herara ken. Herara sira ken tu na papa. Ma papa. Tu na me kare papa nilut pu papa. Mas que anu mag em na tika mu ya papa. Mararo tare em na. Tapu anulit pu. Ekata papa. Mas que puna papa gene gemna. Emna ita rita. Marara tara emna pta emna ikurun mat. Otulo ya emna ane popolai ka papa. Hera tara emna. Tapu anulit pu. Ekata papa. Mas que atikomo ya emna ane popolai ka tara ina emna pta papa. Ma hera ken muka aya papa. Hera ken wai aya papa. Marara ken.
John Pass.
Winyombo, Romu, Parana, Nisu, Winyombo, Mostong, Ero, Kondere, Eko, Ta, Amoyaro, Ebenjito. Sesuatu Temnemando, Ero Komando, Ero Ayaw Tukong Ero Kan, Ayaw Tukong Ero Ko, Kires Nyayo, Lete, Tukuro Malo Yokoy, Abe Nyanyo, Ero, Kita, Ero Omani, Tukne, Sakraya Koro Mo, Oto, Tato, Api Chanel Komaro, Kotano Mene, Abotor Koma, Kita Korana Eneko, Untuk Kotayo Tere Owenye, Neko Tado Ya, Tusinde, Kapande, Tusinde, Wonde, Wawande, Kaporo, Ekinyato, Namaro Kira, Kapicheni nangamose kasano ko pakoro o mako yu pakoro eneto ko naromo apichani rupajo nama pakoro romo wararo neroteng wokosato ero meneyatuna ero patawon nyombo romu ana no boy ichu wararo ana no boy Kero kondere. Wa. Anak ero kondere. Epore. Tamushi pia chormaro. Nanga mo senonemo. Nanga mo karumparo. Pakoro yakuwani. Oyan. Ero tararote.
Ano kaya Yo Guardiso. Prego.
Iedereen is nog bij. Wilt u met me staan misschien voor een interview? Wilt u met me staan misschien voor een interview?
To introduce yourselves?
I'm Audrey Christian and I'm the chairwoman of the Cariña Cultural Group. It is here in Trinidad. The group name is Yukuyu Mamaro. Yes.
And who are your colleagues here?
So he is, this is our Payay.
Your?
Payay.
Could you translate that?
Shaman. You
Shaman.
know him as Shaman, but the native language is Bayay. And this is also one of our members of the group who has also, he's a he's one of the vocal leaders of the group. He's singing. And yes. And this is...
I'm Eldridge from Wayuno.
Where is that?
Wayuno is the delegation of the other part of the Suriname.
Suriname. How many people came from Suriname? 20.
21.
21, okay.
What's the occasion? Why 21 people came to Trinidad?
Yes, that is in commemoration of the great Hayarima who fought here on the sacred land of Carib, and the indigenous people of Trinidad, the first people, they are recognizing him as a hero, and they are recognizing this day on the 14th of October each year. So we are part of the cultural exchange at this very moment in the Heritage Week. There is a week of activities, I think 10 or 11 days, with the different indigenous nations of the Caribbean and Central America. Yes.
Now you see it's a cultural exchange.
Cultural and spiritual, course, and leadership, and more. You know, also the struggles of our people. We are discussing, and yes.
So do tribal members from Trinidad go to Suriname in exchange too?
We don't have that at this moment. So it's not they went to Suriname on some occasions, but it's not occasion that that has been established. We hope that it will be established. Yes.
Which festival of all stands out the most for your tribe?
No, we don't talk about tribe. We talk about nations.
Nations.
We talk about indigenous nations because that is who we were in the past. So that is the way we want our people to talk to us with, because this is our land. So we talk about nations. And what event is the one that stands out the most? The Indigenous Day, the Day of Recognition, also in Suriname. Yes. Yes.
Okay, anything else you want to share with Trinidad and Tobago and the world?
Yes, it is time for not only for Trinidad, but for all the other nations here on the earth, on planet Earth, that they need to recognize the indigenous people as the protector of Mother Earth. And they need to treat the people who are in the greatest struggle at this moment since 1492, when Columbus came here on this area. So they need to give the indigenous people the right place, because at the COP2, the Paris Climate Conference, they recognize that too, that the indigenous people are the one that are the keepers of nature. They are the gatekeepers of nature. So the different governments of the different nations, they need to give those nations the right place in any government policy, so that their way of living, their traditional way of living, will influence the different countries regarding the I forgot what the right name is, but it's regarding nature, saving Mother Earth, and the Amazon and the rivers, because we have only one Earth, and they have shown the world the way they need to live in Mother Earth in harmony, because we are all one. We are all one, but we must not. We see that humanity and some governments, they think that they stand above the law of nature, and they treat like that but we know that nature is one with us. So without nature, we won't have human, because nature can survive without humans, but humans cannot survive without nature. So they have to recognize also the right of Mother Earth that our grandparents, our ancestors recognized a long time ago. So they need to get that place at this very moment. What we are seeing, what is happening now around the world, a lot of natural disasters and so on, because of the way they treat Mother Earth. You know, it is not ours. It was borrowed to us from our children. Yes.
Columbus is said to have discovered Suriname, Trinidad and Tobago, and a whole other places around the world, when he could not have discovered it when there were your people, the indigenous people, already there.
Yes.
And there is a tune, a calypso, that says, Columbus, lie, lie, lie.
Burning Spear also said it.
Who?
Burning Spear also
Burning
sang
Spear,
it.
Jamaican.
Christopher Columbus is a John blasted liar.
Yes.
And I think we should stop making that joke that Columbus discovered anything, because it didn't even exist as far as we know. So it's not true that Columbus discovered anything, because we were already here. And it's time that all nations, especially native nations, should come together, make a worldwide connection, and try to demand, not even try, demand that our rightful position as indigenous. And I don't even like the word indigenous, but it has been established. But the word native.
Native.
A bit stronger.
Original people.
It basically means the same, but if you follow the etymology of the word, native is stronger. So native people all over the world should have a connection, should make a connection. We should look each other up and start demanding our rightful place in history, and our rightful. We are the rightful owners of a lot of the land in this world. So let's forget our differences, and let's focus on what brings us together, what makes us one nation, one global nation of native people. That's all I want to say for now.
Yes. And we also, what I want to say is that the Catholic Church also need to recognize our position in this, and not only recognize, restore our position in this. Because when the Spaniards came here, they saw us, and they asked themselves who we were, but we were here, and this was the place that the Creator gave us. So the Catholic Church also need to restore that position of us, that it is the position, the Great Spirit Tamushi Adayali, that He gave us. So you cannot, as government, you cannot claim for development, but you won't begin with the first people. You want to recognize that position. So it's not only Trinidad, it's something that is happening the whole world. So the different governments and also the Catholic Church need to do that right now, because if they don't do that, you see what is happening around the world. And because it has been shown that our culture is in harmony with nature, and it is serving nature. That is what I want to say at last. Yes.
You want to say something? No. You good?
No, he said no.
He said no.
No, it's okay.
Right,
it's
so.
okay. Yes, you are in my group, and yes, thank you.
Well, enjoy the rest of the day.
Thank you.
All right.
All right.
This is your kingdom. Right?
So, people don't know about you, so that's why I kind of keep it secret.
No, whoever's supposed to know me, like you're here, so that's you, because you're supposed to know me. Your spirit knows me. Do you understand?
Yep.
Yeah. Everything is in the Bible. You're supposed to be here.
How is it then?
Nona Yeah.
This is how.
My name is Nona Anne-Marie Lopez Calderon Galera Moreno Aquan.
That's a long name.
Well, I have to remember all my grandmothers and my great-grandmothers because I've been in there with their DNA through the lifetimes. So as I pray, I always remember, call their name every day. So they're with me all the time in spirit, guiding me.
So you were honored in San Fernando today.
Excuse, please?
You were honored. Today was
Yes.
your day in San Fernando
Yes.
with His Worship, the Mayor of San Fernando.
Right, yes.
Tell me what this was all about.
I really don't know because I was told to come here and I did. I'm not too, I'm more involved with people. Everyone is, I don't go with titles and all these things. I go by people's spirit and how I feel about them. So it was very nice for him to invite us all here, all the indigenous tribes. They're from Suriname. We have a delegation from Guatemala, the Garafunas, which is the Black Caribs, and we have from Canada, the Six Nations, and who else am I forgetting? Suriname, Guatemala, yes, and the Guyanese are all here. Okay, and it's just we have to sign the mayor's books, and he welcomed us, and which was quite great, and the indigenous people here, they welcomed him and blessed him with a song and a dance.
Yeah.
And we are basically here on this site to show respect to our ancestors here. And we're here in nature, enjoying everything beautiful.
In San
gifts.
Fernando.
Yes, it's God's gifts.
Yes.
Mother,
Anaparima.
yeah, yes, right. Mother Earth, Father Sky. All here, the elements, the earth, the wind, we had to bring the water and the fire.
Flora and fauna.
Yes.
Okay.
So I hope I answered some.
So do you have to have a certain age to be the queen?
I think you have to be like at least 50 years old. And it's usually before it was an elder. She could have been a midwife, the herbalist also in the community, that people highly respected her. That's what it's all about.
Okay.
I'm 65 years old, so that's why it puts me in the running.
Well, you don't look like 65.
Yeah, because I have an inner child that's about 9 years old.
An inner child, you call it?
Yes, you have. Yes, you
Wow.
have to connect to your inner child. You have to always see things as a child. As we get older, we put ourselves in a box, and we can't do this, we can't do that. We limit ourselves, and we fear too much. Children don't fear; they're fearless. So we always have to be in touch with our, our inner child.
You just reveal a top secret.
It's not no top secret. It's there, but people don't listen.
Oh.
You always have to listen to the child, to children.
Okay.
Yes, it's important. That's why it's good that he's here.
Okay. The future.
The future, that's what's important. That's why I took up the environment. Earth, Mother Earth is quite upset with us.
Yes, Mother Earth is dying.
Yes, and we have to take a responsibility for the future. That's what it's all about. Money, excuse me? I became queen because you know what? By default. No one else wanted it.
Not true. She qualified. She's well qualified.
They tried 6 other ladies and they refused. And then my sister, they said no. And they asked me and I said no at first. I said I don't mind being behind the scene and helping out, but I'm not into all of these. It's a title. No matter what, I'm still who I am.
But are there duties that follow being a queen?
Well, the past queen, I think it was for decorating the church and the Santa Rosa, for the Santa Rosa Festival, which is in August. And what else does she, and for Heritage Week, I don't know what else. But I'd like to be more, I would like to see the community be unified, just like how the past queen, Jennifer Cassar, wanted, and things for children. We have to be self-sustainable, get back to nature, see about farming, the crafts, and even here with steel pan and stuff. It's, what happened, everywhere in Japan they're teaching about pan, and we don't respect it here. Yes. And even our costumes we took pride in making things. Everything is just a little bead and stuff that pays so much, and so we have to start doing things locally.
Tell me something.
Yes.
Your predecessor, did she pass away?
Yes, she
or
did.
She reached a time to leave?
No, because it's for life you are.
Oh. So you'll be here for the next 40 years?
Well, it all depends on what I'm not one to stay where I'm not wanted. So when it's time, I graciously move up to someone young with new ideas and to move the community forward. I don't want to be like a politician, you know, that's staying there and just taking money from the...
Oh boy, that's another story.
Yes, it is. You don't want to go into
You don't want to go there?
No, because I will go on and about
I
Trump.
know.
Yes, so it's there. Come, what is it?
What was your favorite sport growing up?
Oh, I wasn't not much of a sport, you know, what I like to run and play hide and seek and things like that. I'm not one for like soccer and, you know, I'm not a sports fanatic, yes. I will enjoy it, but, you know, that's it.
It won't be in your favorite list?
No, it's not my passion, no. My passion is meeting, I love to dance and I love meeting people, especially young ones like you.
It's nice meeting you.
Huh?
It's nice meeting you.
Likewise, it's a pleasure.
So what's your name? What school you go to?
My name is Josiah Bado and I go to Pinehaven State Primary School in Dabadi.
Dabadi?
Yeah.
All the way from Dabadi?
He's very blessed because his dad is working here with us, so he's here, so that's a good blessing. He's meant to be here.
Okay, good. So, okay, let's go.
Yes.
Introductions?
My name is Fernando Arzu. Born in Guatemala, Livingston, Izabal. But I feel like I originated from this area because my family comes through St. Vincent, the Grenadines. Somewhere, somehow, end up in Central America. So for the past 5 years, I've been coming to this event, which is coming back home and be with my brothers and sisters. Back home, what I call home, Guatemala, it's not the same feeling when it comes to our ethnicity being together like we are here. At least that's how I feel.
Is this your first trip to?
This is no, I've been coming here since fifth trip.
Since 1950?
Yeah, no, my fifth trip since 19. Yeah, since 2014.
For what purpose?
Well, to be part of the spiritual leader that comes to First People event in Santa Rosa, Arima.
So who is the lady next to you?
This lady is my wife, my children's mom. We've been together for the past 42 years. She's also a Garifuna. And she accompanies me wherever I go.
Wherever you go?
Wherever I go.
Okay.
Especially to events like this. So she could also grasp our roots and teach our children where we come from, where we stand, and where we are hoping to get to.
Is this your first trip to Trinidad and Tobago?
No, that's not the first one. This is the fifth. The same.
Fifth. Okay, so wherever he goes, you follow.
Yes.
She's an obedient servant, isn't she?
That's the way Garifuna people
operate. At the same time, I have to help him because when he got possessed, he don't know what he's doing. I have to explain to him after he get fine. What happened?
What went on?
Yes.
Okay.
My name is Leticia Arzu. I came from Guatemala City. I live in Livingston, Izabal, a small town. And then I come to give a company to my husband. We have enjoyed. Thank you to Ricardo and his group to invite us to come to visit and make a lot of work. Thanks.
How many languages you guys speak?
3.
3. Could you identify them?
Garifuna, Spanish, and English.
Okay.
Yes.
Bienvenido.
Gracias.
And who is this lady here?
In my native language, Garifuna, I say Marbriga, greetings. My name is Gwen Nunes Gonzalez. I am from Belize, a Garifuna woman from Belize, Central America. And like my Ebo and his wife, I'm a Garifuna. Our roots is from St. Vincent and the Grenadines. However, you'll notice that we are part of this indigenous, powerful indigenous group because our roots also stem from the Arawak, the Carib, and the Africans. And so the historians start our story from the Roman St. Vincent, but our story is from wherever our Arawak and Carib ancestry begins. And so we're here. This is my 6th time to be a part of the Santa Rosa First Peoples Indigenous Conference. And I must say that being in this environment has been very beneficial, especially for me spiritually. We have been falsely taught that the ways of the conquerors are the best ways to worship, the best ways to be educated. But we have our indigenous practices that have helped us to be grounded as people. And so we are on a quest to ensure that it remains that way, because monolingual and monocultural society is a boring society. So the onus is on us to ensure that our culture survives, and this reconnection spiritually and physically will ensure that that happens.
Is that a uniform you're wearing?
This is the male shirt called dashiki. Then Mrs. Arzu is wearing one of the female blouses, and that we call manin. And the African word is shagidi. And we have different attires that we wear as women. And so I'm wearing the man version. This is a dashiki. And Ebo Fermin is also wearing a dashiki. Right? And our culture is so unique because we have our own rituals, our own practices. We have our own language called Garifuna. So for example, if I want to tell you I love you, I will tell you Hisetibunu.
But tell me for real.
Hisetibunu. You know, and so we have our own language, our own practices, our own beliefs, and that our own spirituality. So that has helped us to become grounded. But because of the oppression of the conquerors in our different communities, we are slowly losing the dynamics of our culture. So we have been warriors, I must say, cultural warriors, to ensure that the language survives and the spirituality survives. It's very important that we learn the ways of the conquerors because we live within a society, but it does not mean that we must lose ourselves in trying to be like them. We don't want to be like them. We want to learn their ways so that we can survive within their society.
What are your thoughts on Christopher Columbus?
Well, I think he was a tyrant. He was a I call him a cultural rapist. He had no good intention for our ancestors. As a matter of fact, in Belize, the day, Columbus Day, has been changed to Pan American Day.
Good.
And as indigenous people, the Garifuna people, we have vigils around that time. But since the name has changed, we now do a different celebration. Around that time, we have a gala. It's still a public and bank holiday in my country, Belize. And so we have a celebration of our Garifuna Dole, our Garifuna nest. And so we have a black, white, and yellow gala. Those are the colors of that represent the Garifuna people. So I don't like Columbus. I don't like Columbus because of what he did to my ancestors. Those who admire Columbus so much admire him because of what the historians have written. And so one thing that we are doing now as well is to write the history from our perspective, right? Because even in the old history books, and you still find a few of them, they call us cannibals. They say that we live on trees. They say all kind of crap. But I always say we are proud defenders of our land.
Yes,
because if you come to my house to try to steal what is mine, I am not the person who will just say, all right, take it away. It's not in my DNA, right? So I guess I get that warlike behavior, as they call us, from my ancestors, because it's important to keep the fight going. So I don't think the education system should be allowed to rape us from who we are. I don't think any government should also be allowed to take away from us who we are. You understand? So that is why it's important. Cultural, it doesn't matter which culture you are. Cultural preservation is important because it helps to keep an identity.
So were you also Christianized by those so-called powers that be by coming to your country and giving you the Bible, and then they ended up with your land?
Yes, all over. I'm from Belize. We're a British colony, as they call us. The Queen is on our money.
Still?
Yes.
Aren't you independent?
Yes, we're independent,
And
but
the
the Queen is
still on
our money.
Nah, something's got to be wrong.
So, and the education system is still heavily British influence, but now of late there's an awakening. In my country, we have a program now called Intercultural Bilingual Education, and with that, the students are being taught in certain communities about their language, and in their language in some cases, and about who they are, to embrace who they are, love yourself, and also how to live among others. Intercultural bilingual education. So that is what is now being promoted, and it is a worldwide thing. When I was doing my doctoral dissertation, my thesis was on intercultural bilingual education to see how it fits into this British world that we have now been forced to live in. And depends on where the conquerors landed, that's the world that they want us to fit in. So that program helps the individual to be self-confident, self-conscious, and not be boastful, because then you also have to learn to live within among others, and that's the beauty of it, right? So that's a new thing, and multicultural education is also being promoted. Bilingual education, right? As the same way there's this world that is trying to make us one through their, and because they have the financial means, they are the owners of the television programs that they feed into our homes. They are the owners of what we eat, right? So the whole diet is changing, and then the pharmaceuticals are making a lot of money. The herbalists are at war, right? Because they're telling us, oh, don't deal with the herbs. For example, in terms of our spirituality, we call him our buye, right? He has a special gift, a gift that is not, you can't go to school to get that gift. It's not in any degree in the conqueror's world. But in our indigenous and spiritual world and realm, he's one of our healers, right? Mm-hmm. He's the go-to person. And we are blessed as a people to have that. We have been taught by the churches that, oh, what we do as indigenous people is devil worship. As a matter of fact, for years, we were not allowed to bring our drums and our musical instruments into the church and our music into the church. But I feel Catholic. But now, there's a new revival because they're seeing that it has nothing to do with evil. The same God that they serve is the same God who we serve, right? So it's important that we, as a new generation, begin to do a lot of research and begin to find out who we are and spread the news. So I'm very grateful for your time with the media, because this is one medium where we can share and educate. Yeah. Right. So and I hope that your local station will cover more of the indigenous activities, so people can see that there's nothing evil about what we do. It's just our way, another way, right? And like you said, when the conquerors came in Belize, I can speak about Belize, the students were forced to speak the Queen's English. Some parents were even told that they must speak the Queen's English to their children at home. How barbaric, like Columbus. You understand? Because how can I be told to speak another language, forgetting my own, when my expression comes through my language.
Yeah.
I always tell my friends, you can curse the hell out of me in English and Creole. You're asking how many languages you speak, right? I speak Garifuna, English, Creole, and Spanish. But I'm not as fluent as my brother here in Spanish, but I understand a lot.
Survival.
Yes, survival.
Survival
Spanish, right? So, but
Gracias, gracias.
when I am cursed out in my language, I feel from my mole to my toe. You understand? And when I want to express myself, whether with joy or with anger, I do it better in my language, in my native language, right? So they were deprived of that. So there's a generation now. So I can't speak it, so I have a child, and I speak the language of the conquerors to my child. That child speaks the language of conquerors, and then generation after generation, we see the language diminishing.
Okay.
Thank you for your
Gracias.
Sereme. Sereme. That's a Garifuna word. Sereme is thanks.
Okay.
Why don't he look like? Doesn't he look like Roy?
Yes. From here.
Roy.
Queen Gwen talking, baby.
Oh, ready? Okay. I want to thank you for this opportunity. I want to encourage church leaders to stop the conquer and divide mentality. The indigenous spirituality is the same across wherever you go. For example, in the Garifuna culture, you can go to Honduras, you can go to Guatemala, Belize, United States, Nicaragua. The spirituality is the same. Talking about this awesome God who we serve. But the church leaders, because of the different beliefs, they are now dividing us as a people. So I want to appeal to them to learn about indigenous spirituality before trying to condemn. For us, the same Bible you read is the same Bible that we read. We have the same interpretation. However, because of the different denominational philosophies, they have different interpretation of the same one book. And because they have different interpretation, they are now dividing families. Families from one church can't go into the other church. I've seen in my community where because in time of sorrow, mourning, families are outside of the Catholic Church because that church that they belong to is telling them they must not go into that church to be with their families. It is sad. These are sad times. The conquerors are winning in different forms. So I want families as well to wake up. To wake up and, like what they say, smell the coffee.
Yes.
Wake up and know who you are. And you will know who you are by doing your research.
Yeah.
By finding and studying. Right? So I appeal to all the church leaders. Stop conquer and divide. Stop tearing families apart. Because we're going to the church and praising God and calling on this God, but yet there's a boundary to serve this God. I have seen where indigenous people, they have to dress like the conquerors to go into the church to serve the God. So they cannot look like me to go into the church. They have to wear the same headdress that they wear. They have to wear the same long attire that they wear, forgetting who they are. If you want me in your church, then I can come as I am. Once I'm properly dressed, I believe, let me come as I am. You don't have to change my whole physical, and because you're already working on my mind, right? So that's my appeal as we go into the new millennium. We have to make sure that we understand who we are and stand our ground. That's what we need to do, stand our ground. Thank you for this opportunity.
You're welcome.